Self-discipline blueprint. Achieve a positive mindset, improve your habits and exercise anger management, self-esteem, and overcome procrastination. Copyright 2018 by Self-Discovery Academy, all rights reserved. Narrated by Klaus Baumgarten. The following ebook is reproduced below with the goal of providing information that is as accurate and reliable as possible. Regardless, purchasing this book can be seen as consent to the fact that both the publisher and the author of this book are in no way experts on the topics discussed within, and that any recommendations or suggestions that are made herein are for entertainment purposes only. Professionals should be consulted as needed prior to undertaking any of the action endorsed herein. This declaration is deemed fair and valid by both the American Bar Association and the Committee of Publishers Association, and is legally binding throughout the United States. Furthermore, the transmission, duplication, or reproduction of any of the following work, including specific information, will be considered an illegal act irrespective of if it is done electronically or in print. This extends to creating a secondary or tertiary copy of the work or a recorded copy, and is only allowed with express written consent from the publisher. All additional right reserved. The information in the following pages is broadly considered to be a truthful and accurate account of facts, and as such, any inattention, use, or misuse of the information in question by the reader will render any resulting action solely under their purview. There are no scenarios in which the publisher or the original author of this work can be in any fashion deemed liable for any hardship or damages that may befall them after undertaking information described herein. Additionally, the information in the following pages is intended only for informational purposes and should thus be thought of as universal. As befitting its nature, it is presented without assurance regarding its prolonged validity or interim quality. Trademarks that are mentioned are done without written consent and in can no way be considered an endorsement from the trademark holder. Chapter 1. How to be more disciplined. When you're at the mall, you're never able to keep up with your purchases, or you act in a despotic way with your friends because you cannot control your temperance? Perhaps you are in the habit of postponing certain things until the last minute, or in general, you find it difficult to be able to complete most of the commitments that fall between your plans. Whatever the area in which you have no discipline, try not to be discouraged. Follow these steps to remedy. Do not get downset because of your lack of discipline. Taking it with yourself for such a thing will hardly help you, because you will be more likely to feel motivated and even depressed, depending on the extent to which this habit has influenced your life. Rather, keep in mind that it is not unusual and that it is a skill that can be both learned and mastered. Surely it will take time, but then this happens with every new experience. Think about why you want to discipline yourself. Is there a particular goal you are trying to achieve? But do you feel you have certain obstacles that are hindering you? Maybe you want to be a morning person, but you have the habit of sleeping late. Maybe your musical talent, once stellar, is deteriorating due to poor practice. Or maybe you're trying to lose weight, but you hate playing sports. Cut out of space and peace and quiet to think about it and take all the time you need. Create a table with your action plan. This can be done by hand or by using a program on your computer such as MS Word or Excel. Do not worry about completing it at this point, it'll come later. Consider adding a relevant title which expresses your purpose. In this table, such as, for example, becoming more disciplined. After doing so, aggregate the following columns, naming each one as follows. Action, time to start, possible problems, strategies for overcoming problems, and progress report. Complete the column spaces below the appropriate title. Read the following guidelines on how to do this for each of them. Action. The actions will represent all the steps you may have already thought about or are starting to consider in an attempt to work towards your goal. It could be anything that comes to mind, limiting the time lost with an unproductive activity to economizing on spending habits. If thinking about these ideas causes you more than one difficulty, brainstorming is the right technique to do it. You may also find that asking a relative or a friend or someone else you know is useful. You will probably think of multiple actions, so you will need to include multiple files. Once again, take all the time you need and enter everything that comes to mind. Time to start. Later, think of a time when to take every action. You could plan for it today, tomorrow, or another day during the week or month. Make this planning realistic, taking into account any time restrictions that may occur or that will certainly manifest. For example, if the action were to start waking up at 6 in the morning every day, it will be difficult to decide to try to do it the same day when you propose it, if it is now afternoon the moment you think.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?